Welcome back to the channel. My name is Carl Francis. About a week ago, I talked about a game Forspoken that I was following for a couple of years. I managed to play the demo, and this video is about my honest experience playing the demo. A bit of a disclaimer: it was a demo. It's a short portion of the game. It's not the entire game, and it's like early access. So over the year, they might make it better, and some of the things I talk about here might change. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's get into it. Now the trailers were hinting about being a powerhouse, a person with all sorts of abilities and magic and all those things, and so much to choose from, and so many poor enemies to try them on. And it gives you that infamous prototype vibe. You are OP, you have so many things at your disposal, which is quite an exciting concept in my opinion. I liked Infamous, I liked Prototype, I liked the game does that. Things like Deadpool, Spider-Man. Let's talk about the powers and the magic. So the magic, you have magic styles and magic abilities, and those abilities are support and attack. And that's why your spells fall under those two abilities, and you have multiple spells under them. Now magical styles are elemental, meaning they are either fire, I think water, nature. Now for the demo we only had nature and fire. Attack was on your right, that means R2 to initiate a spell, and R1 to cycle through, L2 to initiate a support spell, L1 to cycle through. Still with me? Now attack is pretty straightforward. This is magic you use to attack. Depending on which style you're in, will dictate which attack spells are available to you. But the support is quite interesting because they help you in the throes of battle. They either have an area effect or a singular effect. For example, for the nature style, you can cast a flower and it will shoot at any enemy close to it or that it chooses. For the fire style, you can conjure up spears on your back, like they'll float above you. If anyone watched Naruto, it's like the Biju balls. So they will float behind you and be your defense in a sort of your automatic defense. Now spells do have time limits. If you initiate one, it takes a while for it to be available again. Some spells take longer than others, which is fine. I hope you're still with me. Now there are very many spells, both in the support and attack magic. So and cycling through them over time, you get used to it, which was nice. I thought I'd be overwhelmed, and that's just two. I think as you go down the road, there'll be much more because there are very many bosses, and the trailer was showing water, ice, so I guess there's much more. There's so many spells, and it makes sense because of the variety of enemies. Again, the demo didn't give me so many, and in the demo the enemies weren't so diverse per se. What was different about them was maybe resistance to certain magic. So you can be attacking someone with Freya's magic, and then you realize it's not effective, so you switch to Scylla's. But I realized Scylla's, the fire-based one, was like a one-size-fits-all. Everyone was not resistant to fire, so you just keep using that one. That's what I saw in the game. That was what I kind of wanted to see, how they implemented the powers. But as I was playing, I had a little. Now, first things first. First problem I had was damage markers. Like, it has immersive graphics. It's not so super realistic, but like when you play Last of Us, Uncharted, there is a level of you feel like you are the guy, and it feels realistic in that sense. But now when you show me damage markers, it makes me feel like we're in a cartoon. Damage markers, I mean, like you hit someone and then it shows 27, 71, maybe on the middle of the torso. It's like if you played the training of Tekken or Mortal Kombat, or if you played Final Fantasy, the turn-based times, like the 7, Final Fantasy 7, 6, all those things. You attack someone and shoot 77, 99, what. I don't know, I don't like that, I didn't like it. A damage marker doesn't sound like a big deal, but in a way it adds to the ambiance, should I say, the interest built in the game, you know, like if a bullet sent or a bullet hitting someone sounds a certain way, you kind of just, it's like reinforced, positive reinforcement to keep playing the game, you know, to keep hearing that sound. The same way earning trophies have a certain sound that you kind of like, you know. So damage markers do play a part in games, you know, and if they disassociate you from the game, then they're not doing their job. And I feel like for such a game, why would they have 22, you know? I don't know why, you know, but if you look back on the games that you like, the sounds and the visuals, you know, look at Call of Duty, you know, it has those diagonal crosshairs and the sound of like a knife, a gunshot, it just sounds nice. And if you've watched Warzone, I think you've watched the Warzone videos of people, and hearing that person falling or, you know, being downed, it sounds cool. In Apex, the same thing. Then in Infamous, I know I've talked about Infamous, but this game is also similar, so why not? Now the main issue was button layout. This one is annoying. It makes the whole game, I'm not going to say stale, but unresponsive, you know. It's like to cycle through, okay, support magics on your left using L1, L2, R1, R2 on your right is attack magic. R2, L2 are the ones to effect the spells, whereas R1 and L1 is to cycle through, which seems fair at that point. But then remember, R2 also is your melee button, with R2 being your melee weapon and also your attack magic. Sometimes it's hard to chain. It's hard to chain, like come from a spell, then enter into melee and then go back into a spell. And some spells are close combat as well. I don't know, it made this start-stop thing, you know. You can't keep going at an enemy. You have to do something and then run away. And sometimes it's not even that fluid. I felt like some button presses were not registered, and it's a PS5, you know. The button layout. Another example is the parkour. You have to hold circle to parkour, and for the your first parkour abilities are running quickly, you know, like magic comes upon your feet and you run. And then X is to jump, and then you have a whip-like thing that pulls you towards things. So imagine you wanted to run, you know, like the Call of Duty, you know, the Call of Duty movement or any FPS game, you know, like slide jump. You may want to be spamming something like that, you know, like jump pull. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Sometimes it doesn't register that quickly. I found it's like you're making a combo, a Tekken combo. You know, you're running, you want to jump and then zip line, or should I say zip line? Pull yourself to a place. The gameplay was unresponsive. You know, you had start-stop mechanics. You have so many powers, yes, but if you can't use them so well, if you can't use them so fluidly, it makes the game very boring. You know, it's playable, yes, but it's not that, it becomes less interesting. What made Assassin's Creed one of my favorite games is the ability to chain certain things. You know, you can be in a fight and then you can pull out your guns. I mean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know, you don't have to wait for anything, or the button that shoots is not the same as the one that swings your sword. Infamous is the same thing. However much you had 4 different powers by the end of the game, those powers had a rule each to follow. You know, there's one melee button, and that will be it always. And then there is what? There is a missile button, there is a quick shot button, there is a special kind of ability button, and then there's a target button. Regardless of which power it was, it seems everything was in its place. You know, you can easily chain things, movement and fighting. Here it's just not easy, you know, and I found myself stopping, and by the end of the demo, actually before the demo ended, I was kind of bored, you know, and that sucks. I was kind of excited about this game. In my honest opinion, it was a great concept, and probably the developers, maybe not the developers, but the distributors spoiled the idea somewhere. I don't know. It's probably like Cyberpunk. They had to just release it, and over time they'll fix it. It's a Square Enix game, and Square Enix does make those cartoony things, so so I understand the damage markers. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It might get better over time, but then again, aren't we tired of that? You know, a game getting better over time. So all these things might change throughout the year, but the demo is free to download. You know, so you can go check it out yourself and tell me what you think about it. And if you already have it and you kind of liked it, please, let's talk in the comments. It's not like my opinion is key or the one, you know, we can have a discussion about it. Well, this has been my review of Forspoken. So if you liked it, a thumbs up would be super cool, both in the comments and on the like button. And if you didn't like it, please use the like button still. I can't know if you didn't like it. Probably just like the video and then maybe type in the comments, you know. This has been a blast. My name is Carl Francis. This is Baby Boy Gaming. God bless.